The fans are healing me through a very, very difficult chapter of my life.
She's a legend of country music who most recently is back on tour following the tragic death of her mother.
She's more than a cliche. She's my mom. And I tell people my story because I want them to know that I'm a human being, not just a human doing. And I think when I tell my story, other people go, I get you, girl.
The loss of her longtime partner in music, her mother, intrusive media, lawsuits to protect her privacy, and still, Wynonna Judd just keeps moving forward.
I go to work and I do what it is I'm absolutely in this life to do, and that is to absolutely change the noise in the room to something positive and hopeful.
Guys, welcome to another edition of The Pulse. And today on the show, we are joined by country music royalty. 19 million, yes, you, country music royalty. 19 million albums and #1 hits, dozens of them. And somebody who has a story, like so many of the people we have on the show, coming on to spend some time with us. Wynonna Judd, welcome to The Pulse.
Why, thank you very much.
I appreciate you doing this.
Well, I appreciate telling my story.
You know, that's interesting that you start there. And I was looking at your social media as we start there, and I saw some of the posts, and I kind of wanted to start with a very open-ended general question. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Most days are good. Every now and then I have a bad day, and it's a bad day, not a bad life.
One of the things on your social media said broken and blessed at the same time.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
That means I have a broken heart, and I go to sound check and I sing Love is Alive. And then fast forward to the night on stage when 14,000 people are singing back to me the words to the song, and all is right in the world. I feel blessed. I feel levitated off the stage. I feel loved in a way that knocks me on my butt. And the fans are healing me through a very, very difficult chapter of my life. And I just feel like no matter how brokenhearted I am, I show up, whatever shape I'm in, and I'm open to the process. And the process tells me something good is about to happen. And when it does, booyah.
I mean, you've been on stage in some capacity, signed at like 19, correct?
I was 18 years old. The first time I ever performed on stage, I was in front of a 10,000 person crowd, and the rest is herstory. And yes, I've been doing this since I was 18 years old. So I kind of have grown up in the public eye, and my fans are my family.
So growing up in the public eye, I'd imagine that whole, broken and blessed, it can be a blessing and a curse. But right now, that public support seems like it is helping you through that difficult time.
Absolutely, 100%. It's not a curse. It's a blessing and a burden at times, carrying a burden. You know how that feels. Sometimes it's really heavy. And I let it go when I sing. I literally can say, in with peace, out with fear, or whatever I'm feeling at the time. And the music speaks louder. And that's what I concentrate on the majority of my life.
You and your family have been very open as it relates to, you're now speaking out on mental health challenges. It obviously is very public, what happened with your mother. Why so open sharing these challenges of mental health, the battles that to some extent that your family continues to deal with on a daily basis?
That is a great question. I don't know that I know the answer to it. I can just tell you what I'm experiencing. And that is that, I tell people every day, it's a disease. It's not my mother's heart. And there's a difference. It's a disease. It's a D-I-S, ease, E-A-S-E. And she died she was as determined to live as she was to die. And people don't understand that unless they've gone through it. So the people that have gone through it, they don't feel so alone. And they can tell me their story. I tell them my story, and all of a sudden we're just bonded in some kind of, it's deeper than show business. Let's put it that way. Okay. And the ones who don't understand, you let them go and you say, you know what, whomever I can help, let it be a blessing to them and help them through something, because I'm not the only person. I'm not a victim. I am a victor through my music, and I have crap that goes on in my personal life, and we deal with it and we move forward.
How long did it take you to get to that point? I mean, and I have to tell you, in looking at some of your comments and interviews and some of the things that you and your family have had to deal with, I don't know that I'm that strong. So when did you get to the point?
I don't know that I'm strong. I'm willing. I'm willing to show up in whatever shape I'm in. I just did an interview where I cried the majority of the interview because he kept talking about my mom, and I just had a tender heart at the moment, and I let it fly because I thought, people need to know that this is not, okay, let's get real. Social media, you don't know what's real. Right? You don't know what's real, and I am determined to help the stigma dissipate. I think people look at my mom and they think, oh my God, she was crazy, or they say whatever cliche they say. She's more than a cliche. She's my mom. And I tell people my story because I want them to know that I'm a human being, not just a human doing. And I think when I tell my story, other people go, I get you, girl. I know what you're going through. My mom and my dad, they just got divorced, or my mom, committed suicide, or I have a daughter or a sister or a brother and a dad. I have all the stories in my vocabulary today. And I could tell you this, we all feel helpless because it's as mysterious as the ocean is deep. Mental illness. I don't like that term. It's a disease, and she was not her disease.
Social media, you were just talking about it. So social media is not real. But the challenge with that is that people, especially someone who has been in the public eye as much as you have, people think they know. And so then people post things out there, or they have comments or judgments or what have you, and that becomes fact. How? Do you counter that? Or do you just, as you said, just float and fly? I can't deal with everything that somebody thinks.
One, don't fight with pigs. You both get dirty and the pig likes it.
Yeah.
That's number one. And number two is a third of the people will love you no matter what you do. A third of the people will never love you no matter what you do, and the rest don't care. So you have a third. I'm speaking to the third that get it, that understand me, and the rest that don't. Bless your heart, because there's going to come a day when you're going to feel like I do. And I hope that you have people around you that treat you better than you've treated me today.